Hello and welcome to Bottleship with our friends the Jifflings. If you enjoy the show, please leave a review and share the podcast with your friends. And you can email us at thejifflings@gmail.com. And stay tuned to the end of the show when the Jifflings will read out some of your reviews. And now it's time for today's episode, the Vikings helmet. In your world, things are important. But what about the things that aren't important anymore? Well, sometimes those things end up here, in the magical land of Dilstonia, where little creatures called the Jifflings live on their little Jiffling ship. They find these things that we throw away and fish them out of their sea, so they can recycle them and put them to good use once again. And here they are now, ready to work. Eccentric young pumpkin.
I'm ever so excited.
The hedge, who is a very lazy Jiffling.
Like, hey man, is it time for bed yet?
Miss Katy, who loves fixing things and dressy up. Sometimes I like both together. Albert, the ship's gardener.
Hop-bay, who's been into me cabbage patch like?
And Friedeline, a very sensible Jiffling who looks after everybody on the ship.
Yeah, that is correct. Oh.
Today on the ship, the Jifflings are having a riotously large amount of fun because they are playing one of Miss Katy's all-time favourite games of Dressy Uppy. Yay! Now, as you know, Dressy Uppy is where you put on funny costumes and pretend you're kings and queens, or gymnasts, or astronauts,
Or stargazing elephants who live inside the moon.
Yes, Pumpkin, those too, if you like. And to make things extra special, Miss Katy has been showing the other Jifflings how to make their own jewellery to match their Dressy Uppy characters, which today are all based on jungle explorers or wild animals.
Aye, and I am dressed up as Professor Mustache, and I am going to explore the deepest, darkest regions of my blackberry bushes with my trusted friend, Hedge the Hippo. Huh, yeah!
Well then, Professor Mustache, you'll be needing these. Quickly, Miss Katy delved into her jewellery maker's backpack and, dropping a few bits and pieces on the floor, she threaded some sparkly orange beads onto a piece of string. If you unravel this little line of beads behind you, they'll make a trail that you can follow to find your way home.
Well, that is useful, Miss Katy. I certainly don't want to get lost, and jungle is massive.
Yes, it is, Professor. So together with his trusty friend, Hedgeopotamus,
Yeah!
the two headed off on their little garden adventure. Next, Miss Katy trimbly trundled excitedly over to Friedeline and Young Pumpkin, accidentally dropping little piles of lovely beads and jewels from her bag as she went. Hello, Jifflings! I am Miss Cleopatra Compass Hammer, extremely useful explorer extraordinaire. Pleased to meet you.
Hello, the hammer lady. I am the jungle cow, who is also the queen of the jungle. Ha! Moo! And I am the king of the jungle, Dr. Lion. Roar!
I don't think they have cows in the jungle, Friedeline.
Well, they should do. Then everyone would always have the lovely fresh milk. Yeah.
Well, I've got just the right jewellery for you two. Hold on. Then, in a big rush of excitement, Miss Katy delved into her bag once more, sending beads and bracelets scattering across the deck of the ship. Ta-da! A lion's crown and a lovely tinkly cowbell necklace.
Ooh, thank you very much, Miss Katy Compass. I'm going to wear my crown right now.
Oh no! It seems Young Pumpkin has slipped over on all the beads and jewellery bits lying around on the deck.
Oh, Miss Katy, it is very kind that you are making us all the jewelry gifts. But I think we need to be the little bit more tidy whilst we play. Otherwise, it will be the folly over dressy uppy for everyone. Ah.
Well, look out, Jifflings. That sound means an object which was lost or thrown away on Earth has got caught in your net. Time to return from your adventures and heave the object in, together. The object landed on deck with a bony bang tangle. It was gold and silver, with two very impressive horns sticking out of the top.
I think that's a two-jiffling trombone, man.
Well, that is a good guess, Hedge. But then young Pumpkin stepped forward, for he knew just what today's object was. He sprangled up onto the story seat, and then he began his tale.
This is the Vikings helmet, and my old belly dance instructor, Tyrone Twisty Tummy, told me all about it. Once a little long ago, in a beautiful wild country called Denmark, there lived a strong Viking warrior called Agatha the Brave. She wore shiny Viking armour and was always first into battle, swinging her big Viking sword and shouting at the top of her lungs.
Look out, my enemies! I'm going to bish you right on the bones and call you a big stinky woo, too. Ha!
And most importantly, whenever Agatha went into battle, she always wore her trusty Viking's helmet, so no one could bish her on the bonds.
Ha! Stinky woo!
Then, after a hard day's winning, Agatha would return home to her brother Axel, toss her helmet casually onto the sofa, and lounge about, feasting all night, making a terrible mess that poor Axel had to tidy up later. Oh, bother. Well, one day there was a big tournament in town for all the fiercest and bravest warriors to fight each other and see who would be crowned Denmark's next top warrior. So, being the mightiest of all warriors, Agatha the Brave stood up proudly.
There can be only one. Denmark's next top warrior. And that's me. Axel, grab my helmet. We're going into town.
So, after much rummaging and searching amongst the mess of their house, Axel found his sister's special helmet and armour and sword, and together the pair rode into town. And pretty soon, Agatha was bishing bonces galore, winning all her battles.
Stinky woo!
Then, at the end of the day, there were only two warriors left, Agatha the Brave and Magnus the Miserable. Oh, I've only gone and reached the final. Yay me. So, the two Vikings agreed to come back the next day to see who would be crowned Denmark's next top warrior. Well, Agatha was so supremely confident in her skills that she strode into her house extra proudly and threw her helmet across the room with mega oomph.
Axel! Bring me the biggest Vikings feast ever! For tomorrow, I shall be crowned Denmark's next...
Shouldn't you maybe get some rest tonight and then feast tomorrow?
No. Now feast me, brother, or suffer my grufty huffle.
Well, that night, Agatha had the biggest Vikings feast ever.
Hey! Ha! Yeah!
But in the morning, when it came time to leave for the tournament, the house was so messy that no matter how hard they looked, they just couldn't find her special helmet anywhere.
Oh, stinky woo.
So Agatha was forced to admit defeat to Magnus the Miserable, because without her helmet, it simply was not safe for her to compete in the tournament anymore. Oh, I've only gone and won the whole thing. Double yay. Then Agatha the Brave wished with all her heart that instead of being so messy all the time, it might have been better if she had been just a little bit neater and kept things nice and tidy after all. And now the Vikings helmet is here.
Yes, Hedge. So how could you Jifflings reuse it?
I think we could turn it upside down and use it as a fancy bird bath.
Well, that's a very clever Friedeline. But then Miss Katy stepped forward, for she had another thought. Why don't we use the Vikings helmet as a jewellery holder? That way we can keep everywhere nice and clean and tidy on the ship whilst we play.
Yay!
Oh yes, Miss Katy, that sounds perfect. So the Jifflings all helped to tidy away the beads and bracelets, and then they had a rather spectacular time acting out all sorts of dressy-uppy pretend jungle fun.
Ooh.
And then, after a long afternoon of fancy dress fun, the Jifflings watched the sun go down and all felt rather snoozy. So they put the Vikings helmet away in their sea cupboard, popped on their little Jiffling slippers, and knew it was time for bed. Good night, young pumpkin.
Good night.
Good night, Albert.
Why, I'll see you in the morning, like.
Good night, Friedeline.
And it is a good night. Yeah.
Good night, Miss Katy. Night-night. Good night, Hedge. Hedge? Oh, I think the Hedge is asleep already. And goodbye to you, wherever you are. Maybe next time you see a thing that you might throw away, you'll stop and see if you can use it again, just like our friends the Jifflings. And maybe the thing you use again will have a story to tell too. Goodbye. Thank you for listening to Bottleship. For all the parents listening, if you'd like to, you can donate to the show at patreon.com/Bottleship. And as a thank you, we'll send your child a personalised audio message from the Jifflings. And for all the children listening, if you enjoyed the show, please leave a review and share the podcast with your friends. We've had some lovely reviews this week, haven't we, Jifflings? That's right, like this one from Canada. It says, "Hello, I'm Jonah. I'm 7 years old and I live in British Columbia, Canada. My favourite character of Bottleship is Miss Katy, Young Pumpkin and Friedeline and Albert. I also like Hedge because in one episode he fell asleep on the deck. My favourite episode is the Spy Snowboard because it's about secret spies and I love spies and I love superheroes. Actually, I'm a superhero myself. I don't need powers to be one. Superheroes' real job is to help people, so I want to be one when I grow up. And you Jifflings are kind of like superheroes too. That's why I love you all so much. I listen to your stories when I go to bed, and I love how each of the stories have a different object in it. Bye!
Woo, that's a fantastic review, Jonah. Thank you very much. Yeah, and we've had this review too, from America. It says, Bottleship is the best. I like to listen to these stories as I fall asleep. These stories are funny because Young Pumpkin is always causing chaos. I have an idea for an episode. It could be about a birthday party hat that blew away from the birthday boy. Well, that is a brilliant idea for an episode. Thank you very much. Totally, man. And thank you to everyone who left us a review or sent us an email.
We really do love to hear from everyone. Indeed, Miss Katy. So please remember to leave us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you'd like to send us an email, please send it to thejifflings@gmail.com. Thanks again, and we'll bring you more exciting adventures with our friends the Jifflings very soon. Goodbye.